stress free, leave your kids at home. Leave your kids at home. Do your two-step, get your groove on. This is feel good music, you can move on. Relax, stress free, leave your kids at home. Leave your kids at home.
Yes, sir. All right. We are here.
Hello, everybody.
I saw you with the beef bounce. You got the beef locker bounce going on.
I like that music, man. I'm going to have to come up with something like that. That's cool.
Shout out to my man in Columbus, Ohio, DJ Hot Hands. That is his beat. Once upon a many years ago, we used to make some pretty good music together. So that was when I was a younger man. You know, when I was young and in my prime, I used to do it all the time.
Didn't we all?
Yeah. So shout out to him. He's out there somewhere. And I found that old beat. Man, that has to be 15 or 20 years old. And I found that old beat. And that old thing. I'm like, yeah, I like that. That's perfect. That's just what we need. So
yeah, it's still got it, man. It's still relevant.
yeah. It's now it's a part of the show. Well, we are here, folks. It is a Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, where we're always here, just about always here, to hopefully lift your spirits a little bit, give you something to laugh, smile about, and say hey to everybody. Oh, look who is here. Let's see who's in the chat.
Hey, Lindy.
There's our sister there, Limitless Lindy. I will be with you, Lindy. I'm going to give you a chance to run now. I'm going to give you a chance to listen. If you want to cancel your arrangement, I will be in Austin, Texas, hopefully somewhere with you and the rest of the family, just hanging out, spending some quality time with some of my favorite YouTubers and some of my favorite people. So looking forward to that. Such an inspiration, Limitless Lindy, my man Todd, the original Keto Cowboy. He's out there probably lurking in the bushes somewhere. Shout out to him if he's around there. Good to catch up with him as well.
Yeah.
What else you got? Oh, so you gonna say something, Brett?
Yeah, just 16 more days, and I get to hug Lindy in person.
Yes, that's right.
I get to shake your hand, so that'll be awesome.
You can hug me too, brother. You can hug me too, man. I need all the love I can get. I need all the love I can get.
You got it.
Absolutely, man. I love the family. And my ride or dies in the building. Nurse Kim is here.
Yeah.
Yes, I see you. So it's good to see everybody coming on there. My man, Billy Stilly. Bill is one of my horse in the horse community there. He helps train my race horses. Got a win tonight, as a matter of fact. One of my horses won in Columbus, side of the Downs tonight. I put the videos up on Facebook, but we got to get my man, Big Billy Stilly. We got to get him in the keto family too. Brother, come on over here, man. Get your proteins and fats high. Get your sugars and carbohydrates low, and come on and get on in the good life, brother. It's life-changing, life-saving stuff we're doing here. You know, if you have questions, of course, as always, you can say hey in the chat, put a question in there. We got a bunch of people and that can help you with information. We got my man Brett right here, who's king of all things extreme. But if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to eat crazy eggs and jump off of things and swing from things and fast, you want to starve yourself, fast for days on end, he is your man. He can tell you all about it. And me, listen, I'll tell you my story, but there's many other better stories, including Limitless Lindy's and Carnival Brett's. And my man Bruce is here. Hey. Oh, look who's...
Hey, Adam.
I don't know how he got past security, but somehow
gonna get to see Adam again here in a couple weeks too.
Yeah. The elusive Mr. Lacey.
Yeah.
Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you popping by, saying hey.
He's
as always.
Good things.
Yeah, man. as always, if you want to join us, the link is in the chat. You can come in, chat with us. If you have a question, a comment, a joke, you want to make fun of me, you want to ask why the man lives in a meat locker, whatever you want. Come on, hang out with us, have some fun tonight. And who knows what'll happen. That's part of the beauty of the show. Is we never know what's going to happen here. Oh, isn't that sweet? She's such a sweetheart. You can't meet Russ and not hug him. Well, that's debatable, but I'm glad you feel that way. Hey, I got some people that might say something different. I can get you a list of folks. So,
Didn't get to meet Kim later this year too. Maybe at
yes,
Palooza.
that is my girl. Yep, that's my buddy.
Yeah.
And yes, I hope she'll be there. I think she'll be there.
I think she said she was going to try to go.
Yeah, good grief, from Lexington to Louisville. At least come over for the day or something if you
She's
don't
in
want.
Lexington, so she's only about an hour away.
Yeah, I'll sneak you in. Our man is here, the iguana stalker. The iguana stalker is here. My man Rick, quack quack. I see you, brother. Good to see you, man.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. So how's your week been, brother?
Oh, my week's been going good. Had a really nice Mother's Day, and had some shrimp for dinner, made some lamb chops, and I came up with a new thing I've had for dinner the last couple of days. I'm probably gonna do a little video on it. I call it the carnivore four-way or the foreplay. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it yet.
All right.
But it's
not two, it's not five, it's four. I got you.
You can make it more if you can find more stuff to throw in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like a different version of a Powerball.
All right. So what have you been experimenting with?
Like hamburger, and I get these beef hot dogs that have pretty clean ingredients from Costco. And
is that the Teton or the?
Yeah, there's one by Teton too. It's like a Polish sausage that they make.
Yeah, they're grass fed. Yeah.
Yeah, those are really good, nice, clean ingredients. And just chopping all that up and throwing it together in the skillet, and it's kind of like carnivore meat, combo, and maybe throw a little egg in there, some egg yolks, and mix it all up, and it's good stuff. Very, very filling.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. My man Rick, I see Rick is in there. Rick could be throwing some, if Rick had it, he'd throw some iguana toenails in there. They'd be like croutons. That's how he
picks the meat out of his teeth, as he grabs the toenail. And just,
iguana toenails. Those are croutons to my man Rick there. So, no, I love that, man. That's fantastic. I've been I was doing a little bit of looking around today at different cuts of steak, and man, it's ridiculous how much I don't know. About the different cuts of steak and where they come from and how tender they are and all that stuff. I learned all kind of stuff. Binge watched a little bit of shout out to the Bearded Butchers. I don't know if you've ever seen them or some other. There's a bunch of folks out there, and again, the whole kitchen area is I have no desire to be there, but I do like to learn some new things. I thought it was interesting. Because shout out to my girl Christy over at Meeting Wellness. I'm sure you know her.
Yep.
She was talking about the picanha steak, and I found out it's got like multiple names. It's picanha, it's top sirloin cap, it's culotte steak, and I saw it as culotte, a few times, but I didn't know that it was the same thing as picanha. Picanha, I guess, is a Brazilian word. And so, but top sirloin cap or culotte, and sometimes it's called. And just looking at it, and looking at different videos and listening to her talk about it, she says it is just the best thing ever. So I'm gonna try some of that, and even top sirloin. I was watching on some different things. They say is a pretty, not a bad cut at all. So, there's a million different steaks when you go in these places, porterhouse, T-bones, all these different things.
Yeah.
I tend to just be a ribeye person, and then every so often New York strip. But I'm gonna branch out and try some other cuts. Do you have any? I'll tell you another one, skirt steak. I don't know if you've ever had skirt. Uh, you know, listen, I mean, listen, I've been known to chase some skirts, but this is a whole different level.
Yeah,
I'm about to
it can
become a
get confusing out there. The different kinds. I mean, there's four different kinds of ribeyes.
Yeah,
There's your standard ribeye with no bone, and then there's the bone-in ribeye that has a piece of the rib bone on it, and then
yeah,
there's a cowboy cut ribeye, which is almost like a double thick, and then there's a tomahawk ribeye, which is like
yeah.
double thick with the big long bone on it. So, and it's
But
all the
okay,
same. It's all the same
yeah,
piece of meat.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Um, the top sirloin is different than the picanha. It's a different
Yep.
cut. Whereas the ribeyes, I don't know. Again, this is maybe the dumbest thing. Maybe the dumbest thing. It won't be the dumbest thing I probably say tonight. But I'll say it anyway. The ribeyes are just like the bone in and the bone out is the same piece of meat. It's
Yeah.
just whether you want the bone in or bone. It's like I don't know, maybe the difference between a boneless chicken thigh or or one with the bone in. But the picanha, and the top sirloin, and the flank, I mean the skirt steak, these are all different cuts of meat. You know what I mean? From different parts of the cow. And to me, I just want tender. I don't want mushy. Like I don't like roast very, when I was a kid, my mom would make roast and I would just smash it in with my mashed potatoes, and get it down.
Yeah.
I didn't really like it. It was kind of smushy and mushy. So I didn't
Yeah,
like
I'm not
that
the
very much.
biggest fan of like a chuck roast. I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay, but I'd much rather have a steak, even
Yeah.
a sirloin.
Yeah.
Sirloin's probably for people who are starting out on carnivore. They ask me like what kind of steak to buy, and I'm like, well, if you don't want a real fatty piece of meat to start off with, get sirloin because sirloin's
Yeah.
one of the leanest, and
Yeah.
it comes from the beef shoulder area, and basically the way I understand it is the tenderness of the meat is directly reflected on how much that muscle is used by the animal.
Right.
So the muscle that's used to support the weight of the cow is stronger, like in the sirloin, and it's tougher.
Yeah.
Whereas on the tenderloin, the filet mignon and the ribeye, they're more tender and fatty because they're in a portion of the cow that the muscle isn't directly used for strength.
You're absolutely right because that's what they were saying about the picanha cut. It's up on the very top of the cow, like up the top of the butt, and it
Hmm.
doesn't get used very much, so it's fatty and that
Right.
sort of thing. So yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try the skirt steak. I can't remember what part it came from, but it was again very tender, very juicy, very
Yep.
flavorful. But um,
Down on the bottom of like on the inside of the rib. If anybody wants to know anything about steaks, watch the bearded butcher guy.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
they've got one video where they do a complete butchering of a cow, and then they lay all the cuts of meat out on a table in the
yeah.
shape of the cow half. So you can see
Right.
exactly where all the different pieces come off of the cow. And
Yeah,
really, really interesting video.
yeah. Well, I I'm gonna try some different cuts because pretty much all of them are cheaper than the ribeyes. Although I don't pay, I wait for them to go on sale, and then I back up the truck. I've made videos about it and everything. Um, you know, they're around 12, 13 a pound, roughly. but they get them down to $7 or $8 a pound every few months. And man, let me tell you what,
Hmm.
uh, I'll tell you, I told a story about it the last time. The first time I went in and I got like 40 pounds, and it's like $7.99 a pound.
Yeah.
And the next time they came out with the sale several weeks later, they put limit 2. Now, I don't know if that was because you had to be a member of the club. They have like a rewards points club, and you have to swipe your card to get the price. And so I swiped the card, and bam. I mean, I put it, and it's funny because the lady, I mean, and it was buy one get one free on bacon too. So I had like 20 pounds of bacon, and I had like 40 pounds of steaks. And the lady just kind of looked at me. She kind of looked up at me and looked down. You know what I said to her? I said, I got a pet tiger at home. And she started laughing. She's like, yeah.
Really hungry.
It's like, I guess you do. I'm like, yeah, his name is me. Yeah. So yeah, I hit him real good on that. And the next time they came out, it said limit 2. And I tested it too. I'm like, is this like an honor system limit, or is this really a limit? And so I went up there. I just got like 3 packs. Each pack is like 6 pounds or something like that. And so I just got I just put 3 up there, and it ran through no problem. But when I checked my receipt, it only gave me the sale price on 2 of the 3. It didn't give me the price of the. So you know what I did? The next day, because it was a weekend sale, I went to a different location, and I got 6 packs, which are about 6 pounds each. That's about 36 pounds, and I brought them up. And I bring them up as 3 separate purchases. I'm like, these are 3 separate purchases. So I scanned them, paid for them 3 times, and I got the sale price on all 3. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know if it was because of me or not. I can't say, but I'm going to say it was just because, it makes me feel like I'm changing the world, ruining it for everybody.
Looks like Rick found a sale on Top Round, $2.98 a pound. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Beef
Yeah,
Top Round, that's really good for making jerky,
Mm,
and because that Top Round, that's really lean. Um,
mm.
that'd be great for jerky, great for stew, great for a lot of different stuff. I don't know if a Top Round steak could be all that great, flavorful.
Yeah.
I mean, season it up and put some duck fat on it, and it'll probably be pretty good.
Yeah, I had some people tell me I'm kind of jerky. Shout out to appreciate you, Don. Don is here. Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you hanging out with us for a little bit here. Last day of normal, I think I saw on there. Last day of normal. Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us tonight. Our man John is here. My brother John is here. I'm not gonna make fun. I'm not no lady sweater jokes. Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. It's a long story behind that. I was on the stream with him at Christmas. They had an ugly sweater contest, and he won the contest with a sweater that he got off of a ladies' rack, and he didn't know.
Way to do it. I met
Jeff,
John a couple months ago.
I caught you live. Hello from above in cold mid Michigan. Oh, mid what? I'm not familiar. Boo. I always watch your show on the replay. You make me giggle. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Jenny. Listen, I think maybe she's talking to you, Brett. Maybe you make her giggle. Maybe that's maybe.
Let's just hope she's not a Wolverines fan, right?
Yes, exactly. I was going to say, I have to be careful when I bring guys on the stream that are more handsome than me. See, that's how that works, man. I don't have that problem when Rick's on the stream with me. See, I don't have that.
Well, she's coming through your channel, so she must be talking about
I know. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing you, Jenny. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming in to say hey, and I'm glad that you were able to catch the live stream. Now, I gotta ask you. You're up kind of late there. Are you maybe I shouldn't ask. I'm not asking no questions. I'm just glad you're here, and I'm glad I make you smile. That's the best compliment anybody could ever give me. And we've got Vicky. Hi there, Vicky. Appreciate you being here with us tonight. As always, if you want to come in stream, say hey to me or Brett. We got the link in the chat. If not, we will keep on talking. So I got a weigh-in coming up, and I'll be making a video about that. Not happy about it. It could always be worse. I will say that. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. And listen, you guys follow me. You know my attitude with all this stuff. I don't get all wound up about it. I just do what I do. But I cannot lie when I say that it is a little discouraging when you're doing everything right and not quite getting the results that you're expecting, maybe. Not because I don't have like big goals or anything like that. But it's like, hey, I'm doing the right things the right way. I'm expecting to see something. So that can be frustrating, but it's one of those things. You just got to keep rocking. I've been really good with the diet, over the past several weeks. And whatever, it is what it is. Don't worry about it. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. My blood work was so good that I did a few weeks ago. Everything was so much better. So clearly I'm doing things right. But not where I want to be, but I won't divulge, but I will talk about it. I have a video coming out the next few days on that, as well as somebody asked, I can't think of their name, asked questions, kind of a religious question. And I'm not a terribly religious person, but I did grow up Seventh-day Adventist in the Seventh-day Adventist church. A lot of people know that about me. And so I never was a member. I never got baptized in the church or anything like that. But my whole family is Seventh-day Adventist. I had a house full of Seventh-day Adventist vegetarians pretty much the whole month of March when my Pop Redden broke his hip and stuff when he was here. And that. So I know a lot about it.
Are they like Dr. Kellogg type Seventh-day Adventists, or are they more modern?
No, I mean, well, yes. I mean, I don't know I don't know exactly what you mean by that. So you mean like some, and that's part of the thing I'm going to talk about too in my video. I hear so many things that are just not true. About.
Well, I mean, the Seventh-day Adventists of old, from 80 to 100 years ago, when Dr. Kellogg had the sanitarium in Michigan.
Yeah.
The old style wellness center, and eating meat makes you, lustful, and
Yeah. That stuff is 150 years old.
Right.
I mean, nobody, 70% of Seventh-day Adventists eat meat.
Yeah.
They serve meat in their hospitals. They have a huge health system. They serve meat in their hospitals. Right. I mean, it's just not what people think it is. But they do advocate vegetarianism. They do advocate that as, the proper human diet. That is true. Right. But it's not a sin. You don't get kicked out of the church. There's pastors, there's church workers, there's, again, 70% eat meat. So it's not what it's just, not what people think it is. People talk about, like Ellen G. White wrote a book last week. I mean, literally she's been dead for 150 years. Right. So yeah, so it's just, and we had her books coming up. I mean, I was born in 69. So, all through the 70s and 80s. Yeah, we had her books in our house. She had a book, Counsels on Diets and Foods and things like that. I mean, people read it. People knew what it was, but I can tell you, we didn't live by it. I mean, everybody in my family ate meat. Probably 70%, again, of the people in my church ate meat. So it's just, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I'm not going to go super deep into it, but somebody asked on my channel, about it. And so I'll talk about that a little bit and talk about my weigh in. And
so how long has it been since your last weigh in?
Oh, I do it every month on the 15th of every month.
15th of the month.
But I did it today. Actually, sometimes I do it a little early if I got things going on or just whatever. Sometimes I'll just do it early. And I kind of know when um, I'm, probably about 3 weeks in, I know when I'm down, when I've lost some weight. Like I just feel different.
Yeah.
And so if I get 2 or 3 weeks in, I got a week before my weigh in or whatever, and I don't feel quite, I just kind of know something's up. So sometimes I'll weigh myself a little ahead, but that's it. Night night, Bruce.
Yeah.
Appreciate him coming in. Jenny says, I'm not a sportsman, but my kids are, so we can still be friends. Absolutely, we can be friends. Even if you are one of those Wolverats, uh, you can still, well, I'll still be your friend. And yes, we're gonna, hopefully, I'll be up there in September. And I'm hoping we're gonna try to put something together for that
Yeah.
Western Ohio, maybe Indiana area.
So if she's up in Michigan, mid Michigan, then sure, if she's within driving distance, if she's willing to come down for it,
Yep, yep,
we'll probably going to put something together.
absolutely. Vicky says, that's all we can do. Try our best. It's a journey. I am just about 1 year and down almost 100 pounds, 24 more to go. Never looking back. Going to be a lifer. Me too, Vicky. I really enjoy the diet that I'm eating, and I've been really good. And listen, I tell the truth, and you guys know it. If I'm not doing right, I will tell you. I tell it all, good, bad, and ugly, because I want people to see that. I didn't wait until I lost a bunch of weight and then come on saying, "Oh, look at me, I've lost 700 pounds or whatever." Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have any problem with that. Those people are very inspirational, and I can understand why people don't want to do that because there is scrutiny. There are people always have something to say. There's always somebody yapping. There's always some bitter person out there who has something ridiculous to say. And some people don't want the scrutiny, but I just know there's people out there like me who have struggled, who are struggling, and I want to give them the real deal. I want to show them what it's, at least what my real deal is. For some people, it's easy. For other people, it's not so much.
Yeah.
So, but you can still have great results and you never quit. You never quit. You go all in and, take each day as it comes, the good, the bad, and the other. But yeah, I've been really good with my diet the last several weeks. And like I said, my blood was just fantastic. Very happy with my blood work I did in April. So I'm going to hold on to that, and say, hey, everything is going the right way. All my numbers are personal best, personal lows, and there's no way that I can be eating wrong and have everything come down. Blood sugar, A1C, liver numbers, fasting insulin, everything just down, down, down. If I'm eating wrong, that ain't gonna happen. So um, I will say this in thinking about it. Um, I do live a very sedentary life. And I may be at the point where I've lost as much maybe weight as I can lose um, with just diet change, because
Mhm.
that's really the only thing I've done is diet change. I haven't done anything even remotely crazy. Didn't start working out like crazy. I had no challenges, no fasting, none of that kind of stuff. I just changed my diet, and I really, although my eating habits are different now. I used to eat late at night. I used to snack. I really don't do much, hardly any of that anymore. Um, and so again, I'm just happy with where I'm at. I'm happy with the progress I've made, but I may be at the point now where I'm going to have to find a way to increase my activity level. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And but the diet's been on point. Very happy with it. And and yeah, I'm not gonna let it get me down by any stretch.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you, Dr. Nelson. Did you grow up eating veggie? That is hilarious. Fake steak and phony bologna. That's the answer to that question is yes and no. Uh yes, in the sense that I went to boarding school, 4 years of Seventh Day Adventist boarding school. And of course, I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church, and there was no meat like at potlucks and stuff like that. No meat at the potlucks and in the cafeteria. I also went to Seventh-day Adventist college my first year. No meat in the cafeteria. No meat in high school. That now we would get meat in there because again, many of the kids ate meat, including me. So when we were in the dorms and stuff, we would sneak stuff in. Sometimes we'd sneak stuff in from home or whatever. So, but yes, I ate plenty of fake steak and phony bologna, and some of it is pretty good. Listen, I didn't lose any weight in high school. Now, part of it was because I was eating a lot of carbs and that stuff, but some of it was pretty good. A lot of it is pretty good, especially if you come from a long line of great cooks like I did. Man, my mom and my Aunt Wanda, my grandmothers, whoo, boy, they could rattle them pans. They could rattle them pans, brother. I mean, they would hook that thing up, throw some gravy and saute some onions and mushrooms, and boy, have that fake steak tasting good, man. So
I've never had one of the veggie franks or any of the veggie meat and
yeah,
none of the impossible stuff. I was at Burger King today and had lunch because I was out on the road and I ordered this is what I had for lunch today. I ordered a triple Whopper, plain, no cheese, and then I added a patty. So I got 4 Whopper patties, and it was like $10.69.
yeah.
So not a bad lunch. I got pretty full on 4 Whopper patties. And
Yeah,
when I went to the counter, they said, "Did you want an extra impossible meat patty?" I said, "No, it'd be impossible to get me to eat one."
Yeah, that'd be a negative.
That's
Ghost
the
Rider.
impossible part. Yeah. I'm like, no, change that. I don't want no impossible.
Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Some of it is nasty and disgusting, and some of it is fantastic. Morningstar makes a lot of tasty products. I mean, it's just a bunch of bread and soy and whatever. I mean, and they just throw a bunch.
That's what's in it.
Absolutely. I mean, either I can say I don't eat that stuff anymore. But I grew up, growing up, you just eat what's on your plate pretty much. But I did go vegetarian for a small, just a small, probably 6 months or so, trying to lose weight, and I went back to some of that stuff. Again, I didn't know what I didn't know, so.
I wouldn't want to be a vegetarian nowadays just simply based on pesticides.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be just impossible to avoid getting all the pesticides. And I live here in Indiana, and it's a common sight. Right now, they're planting, and there's little corn sprouts coming up right now.
Yeah.
And the tractors are going around and they're spraying the fields. And
Yeah.
I was on the highway and I saw a couple tractors out there spraying, and I wished I could have stopped and taken some pictures of them so I could put it on my channel. I will if I catch one out there. And then we get those yellow planes that fly over in the summer spraying the soybean fields. And they're spraying them with Roundup.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's that is all part of it. Any meetups in Ohio? Do you use low carb events, Brett? Do you ever go to that site?
Yeah, low carb events is a good place to check.
Yeah, low carb events is a good place to see if there's things going on in your area. They don't have everything, but they have a lot of things. And Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know what part of Ohio you're in there last day, but Keto Palooza is in October in Louisville, Kentucky, which if you're down in the Cincinnati area is not that far.
You check that website. There's usually one around the Columbus area a couple times a year.
Yes. September is my birthday month. Mine too. I was born September 4th, 1969, 3:48 p.m. at Bethesda Hospital in Cincinnati, Ohio. How do I know that? Because my birth certificate says so.
Yeah, mine's December 18th, 1969.
Yeah,
Week
yeah.
before
So
Christmas.
that is that. John says, I kind of quit worrying about the scale. Now I am focused on athletic ability and mobility. I'm right there with you. I tell people that all the time, and I'm taking my own advice because people will send me messages and different things and ask me questions, and I tell them, hey, let me tell you something. Your health is not in the mirror. Your health is not on the scale. Your health is in your blood.
Yeah.
And that really hit me pretty hard a couple months ago. The reality of it, you hear it, but I was working with someone who is 15 years younger than me and 200 pounds lighter than me, who had blood work that was 10 times worse than mine. And they felt bad. They weren't feeling good. It makes me mad when I think about it. The doctor's telling them, "Oh, you're just going to be diabetic. It's no big deal. We have medications for that, and you can manage it." And many people live long, happy lives with diabetes. And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, I told him, you don't have to live with it. You do not have to accept it forever like a bad timeshare contract. Okay, you can beat it. It's totally reversible. Here's what you do. The story ends well. Ends up he's doing it, living his best life. Got his daughter doing it. Got his mother doing it. Just living his best life, and I'm so happy for him. And it's just your blood is everything. So even though he was much younger and much lighter than me, metabolically I was healthier than him.
Yeah.
Way healthier than him. And that's why a guy like me can be mid 50s, 500 pounds, whatever. People are like, oh my gosh, and here's a guy working out at the gym that drops dead at 40, all ripped and muscular, because his blood is the problem. It's not it's he looks like he's in great health, but he's not. You see what we got here. Let's see.
Sure.
Somebody is. Oh man, look who it is! Listen, I hate to do this, but I think I have to. Oh man, listen. All
Hey,
jokes.
how's it going, Rick?
Well,
Oh
not bad, not bad. I
my
just didn't see anybody drop in, so there's always a duck waiting in the duck pond,
yeah,
wagging his
that's
tail.
right, man. Hey, we leave the gate open, and anything that wanders in is just fine with us. Some people
Hey,
are.
unlike a duck, I'm not going to leave you a present on your floor.
Yeah, well, you're the only one that wants to talk to me. Yeah, you got some. We already asked that one questions. Where I think in Ohio, Mount Vernon Academy. Mount Vernon Academy was established in 1893. It is no longer open, but the grounds were actually prayed over and consecrated by Ellen G. White herself, if you can believe such a thing. So yes, the church is very proud of that, and it was a great school, great time, great friends, no meat. And at college, I went to it's called Washington Adventist University now in Washington D.C. Actually, it's in Tacoma Park, Maryland. It was called Columbia Union College back when I went there in the 80s, but still there, big school. They have a Adventist hospital right there, Washington Adventist Hospital, right nearby. So yeah, I guess Rick can go take a leak there. So he had to go try to catch a duck. He was trying to catch a duck there. Is that what you were trying to? You thought an iguana snuck up on you?
I had to get a cockroach out of the house. I got him trapped. He's going to go to the ducks.
I got you.
Plus, I also, I got some shopping to do. The newspapers came today, and boy, oh boy, am I happy because Fresco y Mas, hey, it's playing my tune here. Look at that.
What are you going to do with all that top round? Is that sirloin or top round?
It's top round. It's chewy. It's chewy just the way I like it.
Yes, he doesn't like tender, melt in your mouth meat. He likes it tough. Listen, if you can't make a shoe out of it, he don't want to eat it.
I tell you, the tough meat is where the flavor is. It's like chewing gum, Everybody I know chews gum, but I don't need chewing gum. I got tough cuts. I throw one of them things on my engine, that thing will be all cooked up. Besides, I load it up with extra tallow. That way it's not so
Yeah.
dry,
Yeah.
You've heard of sous vide. Well, I get a crock pot and I put a bunch of tallow in there, throw that meat in there, and I let it simmer for a couple of hours. Then when I throw it on the pan, fry it up. It looks like a steak, tastes good, it's delicious. It's a little chewy, but hey, I think that connective tissue is probably good for me anyway. It's got collagen in it.
Yeah, sous vide is a French phrase that means I hope y'all ain't hungry right now.
No, I don't like the real one because they use a plastic bag, and the thought of cooking in
Yeah.
a plastic bag makes me think of Taco Bell, and that is not something that I want to eat.
They make a silicone bag now. It's supposed to
yeah?
be healthier to use than a plastic bag.
Well, when I think
wonder
of
if you could do it-
silicone, I think about Miami women.
Well,
There you go. So
mm-mm.
could you do it in a glass dish? Could you put it like in a glass? That's
The
what I heat
problem.
up. That's what I heat up my food in every day when I cook it, and I just put it in the toaster oven in a glass dish.
The problem with sous vide is that you have to have constant contact with the fluid because you're basically using water to cook the food. If there's any air in it, it's not going to work really well. So if you did use a metal or plastic container, you'd have to stuff the meat in there so tight that there's no air pockets in it. I mean, you can do that. I actually used to make clamshell cookers. Of course, I normally use them on the engine, but I make them using my pressure washer. So what I do, I make a mold out of wood. I get a couple of pieces of sheet metal and clamp it in there. I hook up the pressure washer and then inflate it, and then that way it makes a clamshell cooker. Then what I do, I peen over the edge with a ball peen hammer, and I can use a silicone seal. So I'll get like a silicone O-ring and put it in there, and then you clamp it together. So I put little screws on it. They look like those clamps that you hold a sink onto a countertop. You put your meat in there, clamp it down, throw it on the engine. When you got to go for a drive, you sit in Miami traffic for like half an hour to go anywhere. By the time you get there, it's ready to go. You just pop it open and it's delicious. But see, if you do that high fat crock pot first, or Rick's version of sous vide, then when you put it into your container and you put it on the engine, it'll cook up real nice. It's very flavorful. The biggest problem with the tough meats is that when they dry out, they get no flavor, and it's like chewing on shoe leather. But when you cook them with fatty, tallow or whatever, they still have flavor. They may be as tough as shoe leather, but it's one shoe that you wouldn't mind chomping on.
So does it taste better on a 318 or a 383?
Nah, 383 big block is best for cooking. 440 is my favorite.
Well, if you had a Hemi, that'd be probably the best. But
yeah. If you got a Hemi, I'm sure. Or one of those old 426 Max Wedge engines with the big manifolds that stuck up. That's like the perfect car griller's setup. And
cross ram.
It gives
there
a
you
whole
go. You can cook two steaks at once.
I'm an old Mopar collector guy. I can speak your language.
Oh yeah, I'm a Mopar maniac. I love Mopar. I've memorized pretty much every part of a 68 to 70 Charger. I even know some of the older cars, some of the earlier Hemis, those 392 Hemis and that old stuff. But yeah, I'm a car guy, and I tell everybody I won't drive a vehicle if it has plastic bumpers. So if I'm going to have a car, truck, or whatever, it's got to have steel bumpers and a V8 of some kind. Otherwise, I will not drive it. I will not own it. And everything I have, even if it's a crappy Ford, it's still a V8. I do. I have my old dad's old van. It had a 6-cylinder, and I did have a slant 6. Oh, what you got there?
These are production number decoding books for
yeah,
for Mopars.
I got a few of those for the VIN number.
A collector. I sold my last car, I don't know, so we could buy our house about 12 years ago. I had a 70 Challenger RT. Plum crazy white interior, white top, 383 4-speed. It was a real FC7 purple triple white car. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've had, I think, 5 Challengers. I've had a couple of Chargers. I had a 69 Super B. I had a 66 Hemi Satellite. I had a bunch of different stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Too
It's
Yeah,
bad
not,
you got
I can
out of
speak
it.
your language, buddy.
There you go. Too
somehow I
bad you
think
got out of it.
when people talk about their meat having a good smoky flavor, I think they're thinking more of hickory than motor oil. But
And leaded or unleaded.
yeah.
Well, you know, there is no motor oil flavor when you cook on the engine. Trust me. When I cook on the engine, it's better than going to a fine restaurant. Because unlike a fine restaurant, you're not going to go bankrupt. All you got to do is buy fuel. Or if you're like me, recycle seed oil and run your truck with it. You don't have to worry about tipping anybody because you're the cook and you don't have to wait. You go in a restaurant, you got to order, and then you got to wait and you wait and you wait. And then you're always disappointed because you get the steak and it's like, I could have cooked something better than that on the ground in my front yard on a couple of rocks. And that's just the way it is because
Well,
there's
but
nobody. Yeah.
that's the upside of it. But the downside of it is the fumes that make you want to drink water off your roof and eat iguana toenails. So that's the part. That's the downside part of it. But,
What do you have against eating iguana feet? They're good. They're like chicken feet, but smaller.
yeah, here you go. Doc says I did eat a ton of that stuff. So okay, so I'm guessing you might
Veggies.
have been a vegetarian at one time and ate the veggie meats.
Ew.
Last day of normal near Columbus.
Okay.
Yes, that's my old stomping grounds there. Look who's here.
Hey, Christy.
Sister Christy is in the building. Good to see you, sis. I was just talking about you at the beginning of the stream about your love for picanha, also known as top cap sirloin, also known as culotte steak, also known as a lot of things that I learned today. So now okay, go ahead, Rick. I know you've got a commentary on different cuts of steak we were talking about earlier. I know you like them tough, but okay. If you
I'm a
had
poor guy.
okay, I got that. But if you had to just go to the bottom of the barrel and eat a piece of meat that won't chip a tooth, which would be which one would you choose?
You mean the worst of the cuts?
No, like if the tender, juicy, like if you really wanted to somebody that you cared about their dental health and you didn't want them to break their jaw, they're gnawing on it.
Wanted
Well,
to spoil
as
someone.
You wanted to
as
spoil
was
someone. That's right.
yeah,
You
as was mentioned before, you have to get the parts of the animal that are not used regularly. That's going to be the softest and the fattiest meat. You know,
gotcha.
that would be like a cannibal. You see, Russ over there, the cannibals would look at him and they'd already have him mapped out. It's like, there's the tenderloin and the top round and rump roast and all that. They look at me and they go, ugh, that's nasty. This thing is all skitty and bony and there's nothing on him that's any good. So, it's just the same way when you got
Mary.
when you're
Well, it depends. It depends on if they're what kind of car. Because some would say too fatty. It's too. Some would be like, I want the lean. There are people out there who eat chicken breasts and fish and
yeah.
trim all the fat off their steaks and all that.
Oh
There are
no, that's
people out
horrible.
there. They do exist.
Yeah.
That was the one thing about me. Even those tough cuts that I like, there is fat on there, and I will eat that. I will devour every last piece. The only thing that I can't eat is like those little stringy bits, and after I've been chewing for like 5 minutes and I
Yeah.
can't get them to break up, I'll throw them outside. Usually the ducks will snap them up, so nothing ever really gets wasted. But see, the problem is when you go to the store and you buy one of those large cuts, they always want to carve it up for you. I'm like, no, 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 save yourself some time. Don't waste your time. I'm the easy one. Just give me the whole thing. They look at me
Yeah.
like, because a lot of times they'll throw away the fatty parts and it takes a long time. You got to wait in line. I got a knife. I got a cutting board. I can do it better than anybody else. So, a lot of times I'll just cut them into steaks and I'll cook it up. I'll cook it on the stove. I'll cook it on the engine, wherever, and I'll eat it. And I devour the fat and the bones. I chew around them. I think chewing up stuff is good for your mouth. And, I was a kid I had a very small jaw, and my teeth are a little crowded at the bottom, but the top, they expanded out. And I think one of the reasons they did is because just And then teenage years when they were trying to push the braces on me, and I got kind of scared of the whole thing, getting your teeth pulled out, then having to wear those dorky looking things on your mouth. I didn't want to go through that. I mean, they made fun of everybody that had braces back in the 80s. I'm sure you remember that. They'd laugh at you, and then the stupid rubber bands you had to put on there. Like, no, I don't want to deal with that. But I got into the habit of chewing meat. And let me tell you, it's sort of addictive because, you see people chewing gum and doing all that. But I'll tell you, when I'm chewing meat, you're just doing things. It's like these nasty people that chew tobacco when they're working and they're spitting all the time. But see, when I'm chewing meat, I'm not spitting, I'm swallowing because I'm enjoying all that meat flavor. But I don't know. That's just me.
Well, there you go. We learned something new there. My man Rick does not spit, he swallows. I got, I got you there, brother. You walked right into that one, man.
Yeah.
You set me up there. I hear you. But I like the tender cut.
I figured you want to get even with me for the cannibal thing that I was talking about. But,
I'll never get even with you, brother. It's all love. You know that, man. You're my guy. You're my guy. You know that. Nobody better mess with you. I can mess around with you, but anybody else would be a fight. I rolling around in them YouTube streets.
They might end up on the menu.
You were talking about not having them cut the fat off. And I just remembered I had a conversation with someone briefly when I was at Costco about a week ago, and I'm looking at the steaks and I'm picking up the ones that are the fattiest, and this other person's like trying to figure out like what steak they want, and they had several cuts there that looked like they could have been graded prime because they had so much marbling. And I pointed that out. I'm like, oh, you should get that steak. I'm like, look at all the marbling in it. And they're like, yeah, but it's really fatty. And I'm like, yeah,
yes, it is.
that's what makes it good. And people are just so programmed to think that fat is bad because it's been demonized for so long. And
I tell you, like even like if you go to barbecue places down here, like if you get brisket, you have to ask specifically for the fatty because people don't want it. It's like they think they're wasting their money if they get a bunch of fatty brisket. They want the meat. They don't want all that fat. And so it's like you have to ask them, hey, I want the fatty parts of the brisket. I want some lean too, but at least 50-50 fatty and lean. Otherwise, they'll give you, all lean. Let's say hey to some folks there. D. Lee is here. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Saying hey. I think I saw my girl. Yes, there's Brenda Foley. I will see her soon. That is for sure. She is in Louisville, as they say, not Louisville, like some people would say.
You got to say it like you have something stuck in your throat, like Louisville, like that.
Yes.
Louisville.
Yeah, exactly. I see Chrissy there. My friend Barb is here. Hello, Barb. Folks, I just introduced her to this keto life a couple of weeks ago in casual conversation that came up, and she has started down the keto road, and I'm so excited for her, and I know she's going to see lots of results. If you ever have questions, you can come in here. There's lots of folks in the chat. We're here every Tuesday night at 9. And we have, I think Laura Russell will be here next week. She's a registered nurse. She certainly can answer some medical questions and things like that if you need. But we're here to support you. Lots of great people in here. And, Rick and Brett are in here too. But
Barb, post a comment on how you're doing, how you're getting started, and how you're feeling so far. We'd like to know.
Yep. Love that. And Doc says, I love picanha. I have a whole picanha in the freezer right now. That is on my to-do list here. I'm going to, now that I know it's other names, it's picanha, it's culotte, it's top sirloin cap, because it's not very expensive. From what I've seen, it's, anywhere from $6 to $8 a pound, depending on some different places, and that's great. I mean, for what they say is a nice, tender, juicy, fatty, cut of meat that you don't have to slow cook or anything like that. You can just cook it like regular steak. I love that. So same way with the skirt steak. I can't remember how much it was, but it looks to be, not terribly expensive relative to, the $13, $14 a pound cuts. And again, same thing. It looked like it was very tender, very juicy, fatty, and flavorful. And that's really what you want. Now it's very thin. It's not, it's kind of a long, thin piece of meat. It's not thick or whatever. So people use it for different things, but I don't care. Just something to maybe break the monotony.
Kanye's got that great fat cap on it.
Yeah.
Now, there's different ways you can sear that and get it either crispy or get it to render down into the meat a little bit.
Yeah, John says I cooked the ribeye in my air fryer today. I let it rest for 12 to 15 minutes after I took it out. It was the best steak I've ever eaten. I will now let yes. I was talking about that last week, John. I made some New York strips that were so good. I had an argument with myself about who made them. I couldn't believe that I could make something that tasted so good. I was just sitting there. I'm like, oh, who made this? I'm like, you made it. No, I didn't. There's no way. So, but yeah, actually letting my steaks rest is not a huge problem for me because I usually make them 5 or 6 at a time because I only cook like 2 days a week because I hate it so much. So, and I have this little, I really like it, a Ninja Sizzle indoor grill. And it's been really awesome so far. I really enjoyed cooking with it. And so I can only cook 2 steaks at a time on that thing. So I put those 2 on, I set those over and get 2 more ready. So by the time I get the second batch done, my resting time is already over for the first one. But yeah, I can't wait to try some of those different cuts and see how bad I can mess them up.
I don't know if I could let a steak rest for that long without digging into it. I pull mine off the grill. They sit there for a couple minutes till I can get my drink and set the table, and then I'm digging in.
Yeah, well, it doesn't hurt. I mean, I like my food just a little warmer than room temperature. So I don't like really hot, stuff. Even as a kid, as a young kid and all that. Some people like their food piping hot. I'm like, no, why do I want something burning my face off? I can't. If I have to blow it before I eat it, it's too hot. I mean, that's really the thing for me. So letting it rest is not a big deal for me because I like my food, to be a little bit warmer than room temperature. But yeah, so we'll see what goes on sale here, and also give me some new video material because I only make 5 or 6 things, and I made videos on all of them. So unless somebody wants to see me make ground beef again or leg of lamb again, I don't, or scramble some eggs again. I don't know what else, what else there is.
I just made a video on making eggs.
Yeah.
The different grades of store-bought eggs, and I got some more eggs. I'm going to make another video follow-up here pretty soon. So had Mother's Day and a busy weekend, so I'll get that filmed here soon and get that up on my channel.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I just scramble my eggs. I really don't like them any other way. I really don't like them any other way. I like them scrambled. I don't like them over easy. I don't even like boiled eggs. I like egg salad, but I don't like boiled eggs. But
scrambled eggs.
About deviled eggs.
Yes, I like deviled eggs. I do like deviled eggs, but maybe I should preface. But like poached, no. Over easy, sunny side up. Ugh, no, I don't like any of that. I don't like any of that. But I like scrambled eggs, and scrambled eggs is so far the only thing that I have not gotten tired of eating. And I think it's because I'm pretty sure, I'm such a weirdo. I'm pretty sure it's because I always eat them with something else.
Yeah.
I never eat
Bacon
them by
eggs.
themselves. Yeah, so like I eat bacon and eggs. I eat steak and eggs. I'll have ground beef and eggs. I'll have some chicken. Every once in a while I get some chicken sausages or ham.
Mm-hmm.
But I never eat them by themselves. Everything else, like bacon, steaks, different things, I get tired of it. And I'm like, but I eat that by itself a lot of times. Like I gotta switch up. Like if I make steaks and I have steaks after about the third day, yeah, I'm gonna throw somebody out a window. I gotta switch it up. I gotta have some ground beef or
Iguana.
leg of lamb or something. I have to switch it up after
Duck.
3 or 4 days. Same way with that. If I eat, because I usually make enough to last a few days, and by the time I get to the end, like the 4th day of eating that lamb or the third, yeah, I'm ready to hurt somebody. I gotta like where I gotta get in something else. That's just one of my weird quirks. I don't know.
You ever put stuff in your eggs like ground sausage or bacon bits or ham chunks?
Yeah, here and there. Um,
I grew up on sausage and eggs.
Yeah, I don't eat a lot of sausage. It does not agree with me. Certain cuts of pork do not agree with me. I don't know why. Although somebody told me it's because it's cured. I must have some aversion to uncured meat. So like I can eat pepperoni no problem. Of course, that's a mix of beef and pork. But I can eat ham, I can eat cold cuts, I can eat bacon. But if I have ribs or sausage, I can eat it. I just can't leave the house for 48 hours. So that's just I don't know what that is, but I can't do it. I've tried all different kind of ways. And somebody said, well, pork chops, all that kind of stuff. They said, well, those meats aren't cured. The ham, the bacon, the cold cut.
Ham is cured.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Those are all cured meats. Your system evidently can handle those, but anything else, man, any kind of other stuff, yeah, it's a disaster. So I don't eat. I like it, man. I used to when I was a kid, much younger. I used to get pepperoni and sausage pizzas, but I had to get them on a Friday night because I wasn't making it to work. And it's crazy how I endured that because it was so good, and I knew I was going to be sick, but I still eat it. And I was probably well into my 20s before I was like, okay, no more. I'm like, it's not even worth it. I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah. So Doc says, anyone going to Hack You Off? Yes, there are several of us that are going to be there. My man Brett will be there. I will be there. Christy will be there. From Meeting Wellness. Todd and Lindy will be there. Lots of folks. I think Adam and Carrie and the crew will be there. Lots of folks. Yeah, so please be sure if you see me to grab me and say hey. Brenda says, I used to love salsa on my scrambled eggs. I tried it now and it causes me pain. Oh, I don't know what kind of salsa it is. I eat salsa all the time. The tomato is my favorite fruit. It was my favorite fruit even in my old life. I eat tomato sauce or salsa pretty much every week in some form, mostly with my ground beef. And I used to eat a lot of lettuce and tomatoes early on when I first started in the keto life, but I gave those up a long time ago. Here and there, I eat little bits of lettuce. But yeah, I love the tomato sauce in my ground beef. A little sour cream sometimes, all sorts of different things I put in there. And to answer your question about the scrambled eggs, mushrooms and olives are pretty much the only things that I put in there. Winn-Dixie is the best place to go for meat, at least around here.
Yeah, we don't have Winn-Dixie up here.
Yeah, I don't think you do. But yeah, it's the best price to quality. There are some places that are cheaper, but you don't want that.
Do you have the Flip app on your phone?
The Flip app.
Do you use Flip?
No, I don't. The Publix has got good meat, but it's pricing. Just like in Costco too. Costco has great meat. It's cheaper than Publix, but it's still more expensive than Winn-Dixie.
I flipped my rotary phone.
Oh, okay. If you have a smartphone, you can get the Flip app and you can set it to look for sales on meat and these different categories and you can pick the stores you want it to search for, and when somebody has a sale, it sends you a notification. Yeah, that won't work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a meat tenderizer right there. That's
It's a weapon.
That's what he
yeah,
stuns the iguanas with.
yeah, exactly.
Try to
It's
get in the
yeah,
house, you know.
yeah, that's a duck mallet. Yeah. But yeah, around here, there's only so many stores. Um, and like I said, there's a couple stores that I will never, I will not eat at. I tried, they lured me in with the low price, but buddy, I could tell when I looked at that thing before I bought it that it was not going to be what I was accustomed to. And I'm telling you what, I don't know. Listen, that cow grew up on the hard side of the farm. I can tell you that. Todd told me that those are dairy cows.
$4 a pound for shrimp.
Yeah,
That's
down
cheap.
here.
That's cheap. Well, you're in Florida, so
Yeah, down here. That's.
if you find shrimp for $7 a pound in Indiana, you're doing great.
I don't eat much of that anymore. I like it, but it's just not fatty enough. It just had to be a real change of pace.
It's an every now and then food for me.
Yeah.
It's a good. I always get wild caught shrimp, and it's a good iodine source.
Yeah.
And it's never a standalone meal. It's always a steak with some shrimp, or some other meal with some shrimp. Yeah.
I used to eat a lot of fish, and I don't really eat that much anymore. If I do, like even with chicken or seafood, I'll drown it in some Alfredo sauce or something that's fatty. And
68 cents a pound for chicken legs. Huh? $2 eggs. There you go. You're getting all the good deals.
Yeah,
and they're all within biking distance. I can get on my bicycle and load up.
Yes. So much for rib standing roast for the holidays, $6.99 a pound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
will have the freezer to haul home a bunch next time that rolls around.
Now, is that what ribeyes are cut from?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So it's
They
just
had ribeyes at Winn-Dixie this week for $6.99 a pound. So I had a ribeye with my breakfast every day.
Yeah, they had them for $7.99 a pound up here, and I didn't get any because I've still got so many from the last. I was going to get some, but I probably got at least 30 pounds worth in there still from the last sale, and I want to try some other cuts. So I'm going to try the skirt steak. I'm going to try that picanha.
30 pounds of meat to be gone in my refrigerator in a week.
Tri-tip is good too.
I rotate, so I've got. I'm eating ground beef now. I'll be finished with that probably tomorrow, and then I'm gonna make some steaks, and then I'll have a leg of. Then I'll be headed out of town. So
this is a store I hate. I hate this store. It's a dump.
Publix.
Yeah, well, it looks like Home Depot on the inside. It's disgusting. It's expensive, and it smells funny. So this goes straight in the garbage.
Depends on where you go, but they have some nice Publixes up here, but they're very pricey. There's nothing in there. The only time I go in there is when they have buy one get ones on things I might like beef sausages or bacon or things like that. If they have buy one get one or club sodas that I like, I used to shop there pretty regular, but once I got into this life and started digging deeper and analyzing things, I realized that they were way more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't worth the money. So it's crazy how that's changed. Now Winn-Dixie, Costco are my real go-tos, and Publix only when they have just a great sale on something.
Publix used to be the best store around here. They had it was a beautiful store. It had windows in the front and a big old neon sign. It was like going back to the 60s. Then they tore it down. They built this piece of crap that we have now, has no windows. It looks like Home Depot on the inside. It's loud in there. The sound echoes back and forth. It's a real dump, and the lines take forever. If I want a dumpy store, I'll just hit the Aldi And at least with Aldi, they're not going to rob my wallet, and I'll be out of there in 10 minutes.
It's funny you should mention that because I got a flyer from Aldi's, and they had some lamb and some stuff in there, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go check them out. The prices seemed okay, so it's in a pretty good part of town. The Aldi's that's closest to me is in a really nice area, so it can't possibly be too dumpy. Not in that area. But they had a butterfly leg of lamb, which was pretty cool. It was like $6.99 a pound. And I butterfly my leg that I get from Costco. I don't cook it in the net like it comes. I cut the net off and open it all up and doctor it up a little bit and cut it into different pieces. So this looked like it was already done. And in the picture anyway, it looked like it didn't have all that silver skin and stuff on it like that you have to trim off. So I'm like, man, this would be a lot easier if, this is it. So I may stick my head in there and see what's going on. Wow, look at this. Look at that, the Carnivore Brothers. Man, there's some
see Rhett and Austin
Ashley
too.
Yeah.
We're gonna see Ashley.
Yes, I will be in the place, Carnivore Brothers. Holla at your boy.
There's another type of meat that Aldi has, and you probably know what it is.
Goat.
No, it's seasonal though.
Duck.
Yep, they have
Yeah.
duck.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try some of that. I've had that. I had that years ago at a restaurant, and it was good. It was kind of greasy and stuff, which at the time was kind of odd for me, but it wouldn't be odd now. All the fat and stuff like that. So I may do some of that.
Once you go quack, you don't go back.
Yeah, I don't eat too many chicken wings anymore. That's something I used to eat a lot of back in the day. Not fatty enough and expensive, compared to the thighs and the legs.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get them for 68 cents a pound at Presidente Supermarket.
What, wings?
Yeah, wings. And then I make Rick's heart attack wings.
Yeah. I'm not against them, but bang for the buck, the thigh gives you more meat at a lower price, and it's fattier. But I'm not against them. When I order wings now, I order more. I used to order from Wingstop, but now I order when I do order a couple times a year from Buffalo Wild Wings, because I read somewhere that they still fry their wings in beef tallow.
That's right.
As opposed to the seed oils.
Well, if you watch one of my videos, you'll see how do you know if a restaurant's serving you toxic food. Go out back and look for the oil receptacle. If you see that, don't go to that restaurant because they're bad news.
Yeah.
I'd much rather prefer chicken thighs. When it's chicken thigh night at my house, I smoke them on Big Joe, and I pull the skins off because my family, they don't like the chicken skins. But then I take the skins and I throw them on the griddle and fry them up into chicken chips. And that's my appetizer before having chicken thighs.
You need to try Rick's heart attack chicken. Try Rick's heart attack chicken. You'll love it.
Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah, it's great.
It's good.
Yeah.
I have just started my beef tallow collection. I will have so I'm starting to save my beef tallow and use bacon grease a little bit less. But looking forward to seeing everybody out there. It's coming down, and hey, if you guys can squeeze one more in there, 1.5 more in there, just let me know, man. I'd love to hang out with you guys if it works out. I know you got plans going.
Yeah.
If not, I'll just crash. So anyway, I think we have fulfilled our contractual obligations to the people, fellas. As always, want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. Brett, brother, always good to be with you, man. I'm so glad we were able to do this together. We're going to do it again, like it or not. We're going to do it again. It was fantastic, and I look forward to seeing you soon in a couple of weeks and hanging out with you. in person. Rick, brother, keep quacking, keep on quacking down there. Keep stalking, keep the iguana hunting down there. Keep going, brother, and you'll be up. Now we're gonna have next week. Laura Russ will be with us, and then actually I think we're gonna take a couple weeks off because I'll be on the way to Austin the week after that, and I'll be on the way back home from Austin the week after that. So, so next week we'll have our nurse Laura with us, and then we'll take a little hiatus, and we'll come back probably with the Quack Man. I think. What better than to have some quackery after a couple weeks off? So, but we'll try to do some streaming down there as best we can, and get some footage and talk to some people and all that kind of stuff, man. But I'm looking forward to hanging out with the family, and it's going to be just great, man. Really looking forward to it. So appreciate you guys checking in. Hope you had a little laugh or a smile tonight. That's what we aim for, to lift your spirits. And we will see you next week. Same place, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern at the Keto Cookout. We grilling, baby.
We grilling, baby.
We grilling and chilling.